to another Horror Review Sunday. This week we will be tackling Hobo with a Shotgun. This movie is an action comedy, exploitation, somewhat horror movie. It's got a ton of blood, so I wouldn't really consider this too much horror, but it's got so much blood and gore in it that it's like a horror movie. This town is horrific within the movie. Like, this is not a town you want to raise children in, but there seems to be a fuck ton of children and families living in this city, and it makes no sense. This is a whole separate universe where logic is just out the window and cops and law enforcement is out the window. This is like the city of, what's that city that we see on the news nowadays? Chaz, wherever, they're just their own fucking little continent within. It's like Pretoria and Family Guy. Like, I'm gonna make my own country in Seattle. It's crazy what's going on in the news today. It's just insane. But yeah, this town kind of reminded me of what's really going on today with law enforcement. It's just crazy. All right, so this movie tells a story about a hobo with a shotgun. There's your story. All right, so yeah, homeless guy goes into a new town that's insane. Crime is through the roof, and he is sickened by it. So he gets some change, and he saves up, gets a shotgun, and blasts a bunch of people away, stirs up some controversy, and pisses off the wrong people, and has to keep killing people, and blah, blah, blah. All right, so there's your story. Hobo with a Shotgun. Now, this movie was originally a Grindhouse trailer that was made back in, 2007 or something, as like a little 2-minute trailer or something that was made for like $150. And this movie was made for $3 million. And the director of this, who directed that trailer, went on to direct a segment in VHS2, the Alien Slumber Party one, which was like my least favorite of that movie. I love the Gareth Evans cult one where they go to like Japan or Indonesia or somewhere. That one's insane. And then he also directed a ABCs of Death segment, the letter Y for Young Buck or something. And I'm not sure what happens in that one. I forget. It's been a few years since I've seen that movie. But isn't that the one where there's like this pervy janitor and he's like watching these boys play basketball and then he's like licking their butt sweat off of the bench? I don't know if I'm like misremembering that. Like, I'm remembering that wrong, or maybe that's just like a dream I had one day. I don't know. So that's what this guy directed, in case you're wondering. Now, I'm not sure what else he directed. So he hasn't really done a whole lot. So that's a shame, because I think this movie is decently directed. It's got some good visuals in it. So that would bring me to my positives. There's a lot of good visuals in this, and a lot of great usage of like some neon lights and purple lights, pink, blue. It's got the whole rainbow, like in every other scene. The way the night scenes are lit, like all the signs outside, the way the streets of this city are lit. It's just a beautiful movie. It's gorgeous to look at. There's lots of good visuals and just good lighting. I just love the way the movie looks. So that's always a positive. I love the vulgar, over-the-top vulgar language and just dialogue in the movie.
She's just a fuck tube. She is a teacher!
Some of the wild shit that was said just was candy to my ears. I was just like eating it up in my ears. It's like, what? That's quotable. I'm going to quote that from now on. Like, lots of funny quotable lines in this movie that are just so random. You're like, oh my god, I have to say that at some point.
Woo! It's a beautiful day for a skate rape!
It has a lot of good music in it that I really enjoyed, and the gore. Lots of good gore here and there. There could have been more, but I think that was maybe budget. Maybe they spent all the budget on the lights. Who knows? But lots of good gore sprinkled throughout. Just innards being sliced open, heads ripped off, and the violence is dialed up to like an unrealistic level where it's just fountains of blood spraying out like a Kill Bill movie. Just blood, just a sprinkler of just blood oozing out of people's neck holes. It's funny as hell, and it's just so over the top. It's my kind of over the top. And I really like this plague duo. There's these two robot welder looking guys. I'm not sure if they're real or if they're from hell. They're very interesting looking. I also like just the production design of this movie. I'm not sure if they actually filmed this in a shithole or if they just made it look that way. If they made it look that way, kudos, because it looks like Skid Row everywhere. Like, there's just garbage everywhere. They made this city look like hell in just a dump. They did a good job of that, for sure. So, going into my little negatives, I will say that there is some hokey acting that's too over the top for me. Like, where you're just like, oh god, please, this guy's getting annoying. Like, there's just like one character that I felt it was just too over the top, that it was just embarrassing, really. It was just like, oh god, get this guy off the screen. He's annoying. And it was the Drake guy. I'm not sure if that's his name. Was it Rake or Drake? Yeah, Drake. He was annoying. So outside of his character, the other ones were over the top in a fun way. He was over the top where I was like, shut up, shut your fucking mouth. And there are little moments here and there that drag, especially just the moments between the hobo and his like love interest. I'm not sure if there's anything going on there. Abby, the prostitute that he thinks is a teacher or has potential to be one. But just those moments between them, he's telling that bear story. Despite how funny the movie is, I feel like it could have been funnier. Like, I did laugh a few times during this movie, especially the Slick character and his brother, Ivan. They're the best part of the movie. Like, those two characters. Just their lines, their performances, they're so crazy and wild and bizarre that it just amplifies the movie to a very entertaining level. They're the best part. So, but it could have been funnier with the other characters. Like, the hobo's not really funny. I'm not sure if his bear story was supposed to be funny, but it just wasn't. Abby, there's this moment where she's giving like a big speech, and it's just, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be funny. It just wasn't. But overall, I enjoyed myself quite a bit. This movie has a lot of fun, quotable lines. It's very over the top. It's unrealistic as hell, but it has a good time. The people behind the camera were having a good time. You could tell, because it's just a fun movie. It's entertaining. It's got lots of bloody kills in it, over the top violence and gore, and just overall is entertaining. So when it comes to Hobo with a Shotgun, I recommend picking this one up. If you're a fan of silly movies like this with silly premises that don't take themselves serious, then I highly recommend checking this one out and go out and buy it. Alright, so let's get into this movie. Spoiler discussion, spoilers from here on out. So this movie opens up with the hobo. He's entering town by train, and immediately he sees that he got off at the wrong stop, because there's this guy running down the street. He's got a sewer, or like a sewer lid around his head, but it has like a cutout hole in the middle. And do you have any idea how much a legit, real sewer lid weighs? A lot. That thing would be weighing him down. There's no way. Those things have to weigh so much that this guy in the movie, legit, if that was a legit sewer lid, he wouldn't be able to run. He would just be like, oh my god, this thing, it would weigh like 200 pounds on him. And then when they like drop him in the hole, just that drop of like, just the 5-6 feet he fell would snap his neck. Just hitting that thing. No fucking way he would survive that, but he does. And then they like put the rope around his neck. Everybody's just watching. This town, no one does a fucking thing. And I don't blame them, because we find out that the police are all bought and paid for by this Drake guy. But yeah, they put the rope around his neck, the car drives off, rips his head right off, like clean off. And then this chick just starts dancing over the blood hose, like the blood fountain, just like soaking it all in, just rubbing herself, doing this like strip dance. It's so crazy, and I love it. I just love how wild this movie gets. Such a great opening, just a tone setter. Like, yep, this is what the rest of the movie is going to be like. Lots of blood and lots of craziness. And so yeah, you got the chick dancing in the blood, and just subtle comedy that I thought was funny was just when the hobo is trying to make all these signs. He's like writing them, and he like scratches out like, nah, that's not good. What should I say? He's like trying to come up with like bullshit or something. And then he's like, I'm just tired. Give me money. I need a lawnmower. And at first, I thought he was just joking. Like, that was like his made up thing. Like, give me money for a lawnmower. And I thought that was just hilarious because he's homeless. He doesn't have a lawn. But I guess he really just wants a lawnmower to start a lawn business. Even though he looks old as fuck, I'm not sure if he really has the energy to be mowing a bunch of lawns, because you would need a lot of lawn customers to be able to afford to keep maintaining a lawnmower and a weed trimmer and a blower, you would need all three, not just a lawnmower. All right. What are you going to do? Mow people's lawns, and then when they go, what about all that grass around the mailbox and the AC unit? Oh, I don't have a weed trimmer. You're going to need more equipment, buddy. Anyways, so he really wants a lawnmower, and I just thought the signs were funny when he was like writing them all down. And then we meet Ivan and this dipshit who was in Small Soldiers. I loved that movie when I was a kid. Gregory Smith, the actor, he plays, I'm blanking on his name here. I don't know. Ivan and the other guy. Slick. There we go. Slick. So they're at this club, and immediately, these guys are assholes, and he goes to pick up this prostitute, Abby, and he has the best one-liner, the best, pickup line ever. He walks up to her, he's like, you want to know how I know you're wet? Because you make my dick thirsty. It's like, what? And then she, is leaving with him, going to take him home. And she's like, I hope you got a lot of money, or I like money, or something like that. She's a gold digger. And then he starts, being rough with her, and she's, shocked that he's being rough. It's like, did you see that asshole in there? And did you hear what he said to you? Of course he's a dick. Of course he's going to be physical and abusive. What the fuck were you expecting? And then, the hobo tries to save the day, but then he pays the ultimate price. They carve into his chest, scum. And he goes to the police station. We find out that they're all bought and paid for. Just another funny line. The cop, he's pretending he's on his side. Yeah, if it were up to me, I'd put all those dirtbags behind bars. And then reveals his true colors. He's like, welcome to Fucktown. And then just throws his ass out of there. Just so many dumbass lines that were just making me crack up. So then we get this montage of people dying, and there's this guy who gets his head crushed by two bumper cars out of nowhere. It's just kind of inserted randomly, oh shit, who the hell was that? And then the hobo, he's like, fuck this, I'm getting a shotgun. He goes to the pawn store, he sees these people robbing the place, he sees the lawnmower right there. He saved up enough money that he earned from chewing glass on camera, because there's this sadistic fuck who likes to film homeless people doing crazy jackass stunts for money. Do this and I'll give you a 20. He gets money by that asshole. He's about to get the lawnmower, but he's like, fuck it, I'm going to get the shotgun. I got to clean the streets. He blows these guys away, and then the word gets around, and then they retaliate, these bad guys, and they're like, we're going to kill every homeless man because of this. And we just get this montage of homeless people getting killed. This guy gets crushed by a bulldozer thing, the claw that comes down to pick up the dirt. It just smashes the guy in the little cardboard box home that he has, and just blood just explodes out of it. Awesome.
When life gives you razor blades, you make a baseball bat covered in razor blades.
Yeah! And then we get this pinata death. There's these three naked chicks playing pinata with this guy who's strung up. And then the Drake guy has a baseball bat with razor blades in it. He has this funny line, I forget what he said exactly, but he's like, when life gives you razor blades, you get a baseball bat and you attach them to it and kill. I don't know what he said after that, but it was just a funny line. Slick gets in a school bus with a flamethrower and burns this whole school bus of children alive. Not teenagers where it hurts you less inside. No, legit 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds, little 5-year-olds too. A whole busload of them, all up in flames. And they even go as far as to show you a couple of them with burnt makeup on them, banging on the windows, screaming for their life. It goes there. I was like, oh my god. This movie has balls. You never see that. And even after a busload of children are murdered and the people responsible are on TV saying, we're going to do it again unless this hobo is killed, why wouldn't all these parents move? There's so many of them. And they're all looking at the news broadcast oh my god, they're going to kill my kids. Then fucking move. Now, pack your bags, all the essentials, and leave. There's not guards at the border of the city keeping you in. They're hired by them. Get the fuck out of town. Just leave. Why are they all still there? And then there's this cop who he's with his partner in his cop car picking up hookers because, like I said, there's like no laws, like anything the cops can do. So they're just picking up hookers in front of everybody, in front of their partners who doesn't want anything to do with it. He's like, I'm good. And then he like chases Abby down, and then gets his head blown clean off by the hobo. One thing I did forget to mention is, why was that shotgun in the pawn shop preloaded? It's just a logic issue. You just gotta ignore it. But he picks it up off the wall, and it's just ready to go. It's like bullshit. They don't just have guns on the wall for some jackass to walk in and grab and then be able to pump it and then just start shooting up the place. The ammo is separate, always. I will say that Abby is ungrateful. Like, the hobo saves her twice, and both times she never says thank you. Ungrateful.
Jesus Christ. Ivan, you're gonna ruin your fucking skates.
I ruin everything.
Let's fuck.
Ivan's walking with ice skates on, like... He's like, today's a great day for a skate rape, or something like that, or skating and raping, or something along those lines. It was just another hysterical, random-ass line. Just the way he says it, how happy he is. Like, today's a great day for a skate rape. But he goes in and he's like stomping the hobo with his ice skate, and it never becomes an issue later on. Like, it's never patched up. It's never an issue for him. He's not like, oh, my back. He's just fine. And they never address it. But meanwhile, while that's happening, Abby's in the other room and her neck's slowly being like sawed at. And he like stops it and shoots the guy in the dick. You never shoot a guy in the dick, Butters. Never. He takes her to the hospital, and then these metal suits guys, these robots, I don't know what they are, they call themselves like the Plague duo. They're hired to go get the hobo, not kill him, so they they have like a coffin that they attach to the back of their motorcycles. It's just another weird added touch that I liked. It's like they drag a coffin across town, and then they put him in that coffin and drag him across town in it, and they're like killing all these nurses with like these weapons that you would see like Batman have. He like they're shooting the rope into the ceiling. They're like hanging all these people in the hallway. Another funny scene that I skipped over is while Abby's getting surgery, the hobo goes to like the baby ward, and he's like talking to all the babies that were just born, and he's like giving them the cold hard truth about life. Like, you're gonna grow up and most likely be hookers because you're in this city, and you and they all start like crying because of his story. But then Abby wakes up and recovers from her wounds, and she gears up. We get like a gear up montage. All of a sudden she went from a prostitute to like a welder and mechanic. She's like sawing off the butt of a shotgun and like duct taping shit to it. She's MacGyver now. And she goes outside and gives a big old corny speech like, the streets are their home. Let's show the hobo some goddamn respect. And meanwhile, we got this whole like Gladiator Show being put on. They're gonna put the hobo into the sewer like they did the guy at the beginning. They're gonna give him the same exact death, which is odd. It's like, would Drake really want the hobo to die that same way? A very quick death for someone who just shot and killed his son by shooting him in the dick, and then like fucked up his other son, who somehow survived an electrocution. Like, I forgot to talk about how like he puts his ice skate into a toaster and gets electrocuted so much that he jizzes, and when he like comes to, he's like, oh, you made me jizz, fucker. He's like all upset about it, and he's like burnt on his face. He actually survived that, which was surprising. I like that. But then he just gets shot by his own dad, and he's like, Abby comes in to save the day. She's like, I'll kill Ivan, I swear. And he's like, whatever, he's replaceable. Shoots his own son. Like, I don't give a fuck. But yeah, it's like he wants to kill the hobo quickly. You would think how crazy he is that he would want that death to be drawn out and slow, not some quick, like, you're dead, like, just rip your head off and you're out 1 second, no pain at all. But then, like, the cops show up and they're all trying to protect Drake still, and then all of a sudden, the crowd turns on Drake out of nowhere, and that's just unexplained, and it makes no sense. Like, they're on Drake's side, they're cheering like, kill the hobo, And then the cops show up and they're like, never mind, protect the hobo, let's kill Drake. They're pointing their guns at him. It's like, where did this come from? Then Drake gets killed by the hobo. He shoots him in the face. He has like this last one-liner. He's like, we're going on a trip to hell together, and you're riding shotgun.
You're riding shotgun.
He gets shot and killed. They actually kill the main guy, which I didn't see coming. I like that. It makes sense, because there's no way he was getting out of there alive. There's so many guns, so many cops and SWAT people there who somehow got there. Like, how did they know what was going on there? Why would they show up? Who called them? Did Abby call them? Oh, and then Abby, she gets her hand mutilated. She, like, makes this lawnmower weapon, but then she doesn't get to use it. It's, like, used on her. Drake, like, grabs her, and he puts her hand in it, and her hand's getting, like, mutilated, but then it's just, like, a bone sticking out. She's, like, stabbing him with her own bone. Awesome. So yeah, I forgot to talk about that. So now we can move on and talk about my awards. The Hockey Mask Award for Best Character will easily go to the Hobo, the main star, the titular character of this film. And the Hanky Award for Worst Character in this movie to me is Drake. I found his acting to be way over the top and just annoying, just irritated the piss out of me for some reason. And the Funny Bone Award for Funniest Moment is this line right here.
Woo! It's a beautiful day for a skate rape!
And the Hottest Chick Award will, I guess, go to Abby. There's not a whole lot of main girl characters in this movie, and I don't want to pick a background character, so I'll go with Abby. And the Clapper Award for Best Scene will go to the hospital scene when he's upsetting the babies and the plague people come in, they start hanging everybody. And the Mr. Hat Award for Best Kill will go to the first kill in the movie, the sewer-led death, when his head gets ripped off and a fountain of blood spraying out and that chick's dancing on top of it. And the Mr. Twig Award for Lamest Kill will go to the skater boy, Ivan, who simply just gets shot by his father. So those are my thoughts on Hobo with a shotgun. Put all your thoughts of this movie in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button, share with all your friends, become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month to request movie reviews like this. And you can become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.